Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched a fucking crazy episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County.
It was very confusing. It's very confusing.
Very
We're already
confusing.
swearing.
We're already swearing. This is E for explicit. Hide your children.
Hide your children.
They should not be listening to this. So, yeah.
I didn't think it was going to go this way. I'm very confused by this addendum.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I thought we were going to have a moment of like, well, no shit. Gretchen's conservative and supports anti-LGBTQ stuff, which I still think is true. I'm going to say, like,
It's a strong possibility.
I'm going to say, like, again, I don't think that this distraction, I feel like what they're offering us is a distraction, as if we were supposed to say maybe this wasn't true. I think the way that she responded and the way that she did not immediately defend herself is that she knew she was caught. What I'm really concerned about in the very long run is why production threw Tamra under the bus the way that they did.
And reversed.
Yeah.
And drove back over. Like, it was they really were just this like voice I mean, did they disguise his voice? Was he disguising his voice, this person who had all the receipts?
Right.
It was just so...
It's Eddie.
It's Slade.
Yeah.
With like the scream voice decoder.
Yeah. No, that's the weird thing is that, like, I don't think that any of this is far-fetched. The fact that they're trying to make it, and I mean, hats off to Emily, if they say that Emily is as conservative as she is, for her to, like, be taking the side that she's taking, like, hats off to all of them to be shocked that Gretchen would feel this way.
The thing is, they didn't go deep into why this could possibly be true, because they don't talk about politics and housewives. I mean, maybe there's more to that conversation. You know, they're always there for so much longer than what's shown. But it's worth making the point of, let's say this is all fake. These are doctored screenshots, chat GPT, whatever, AI made these like hateful posts that she supposedly liked. It's not far-fetched based on the fact that we know Gretchen is very conservative.
Right.
And preaches that. And so it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to believe like she would like things like that. That's why it's easy to believe.
Right.
It's just interesting how they all were like, well, wait, maybe it's not like, I don't know. Why I wish that someone had said, like, you're MAGA. Let's just say the word
right.
not avoid, trying to avoid. You know, this is your political.
Well,
beliefs.
I mean, I will say in general, like, I'm pretty sure MAGA means to different people different things that it means to us. So maybe we should not use that. But she's conservative and she believes in a traditional Christian.
She supports a movement that is very likely to not support the LGBTQ plus community.
Right.
Period. So if you're saying to me, Gretchen liked these posts that are anti all of this, I could believe it because that's who she supports. You can't just say, I'm voting fiscally. I'm voting, you know, like for like,
I want lower egg prices.
Yes, you know, and not realize, but you're supporting people who hate other people, who have very hateful rhetoric.
But also at the same,
I'm not saying she's supporting, you know, very like hardcore anti, you know, like, or not even say the words, but
at the same time, like in my head, I'm kind of like, okay, she has to, like, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that if she's trying to curry favor with a certain type of person, that she would like those things. If she's trying to impress people who are anti-LGBTQ, I can see her saying and liking and trying to appear that way. The same way that now that she's on a pretty liberal television show, one that at least tries to remain liberal and appeal to all the different, you know, demographics.
I don't think it remains liberal. I think it remains very neutral. They don't talk about politics. I mean, the closest thing that we got to that was during the 2016 election on New York, when Carol
Yeah.
a storyline that she was very pro Hillary.
So, I mean, hey, so Bravo's not without its own problems. I'm not saying that, but
I think Bravo doesn't talk about this.
But Bravo, whether like it or not, Bravo has a very large LGBTQ
Yeah, but I think
demographic.
and not no pun intended, what trumps that are the white middle-aged women
Right.
who could very well fall into this camp
Yeah.
who support
Okay.
Bravo.
Yeah.
So you can look at the online community, people who are making all these TikToks, these very funny
These
like
podcasts.
yeah, these funny very bold gay men.
Mm-hmm.
People, even behind the scenes as producers of podcasts or who basically people who are putting out content. What you see online doesn't necessarily reflect what people who are actually watching the show.
Right.
Just as if people who are very hateful online, and I'm talking about hateful not about, LGBT, whatever, but just basically saying I hate this housewife,
Right.
Keyboard warriors don't necessarily reflect what people think in, other parts of the country, or just outside of the internet.
Right. Oh, no, I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
So, I don't think Bravo is very liberal. I think they're
They're
neutral.
walking the line.
They're walking the line because they don't want to alienate people. Once in a while, Andy will, very much so voice his opinions because, of course, he's going to. He's a gay man.
Right.
He's going to call out certain people, but on What Happens Live. But it's just you're not going to really see that.
Yeah.
Seeing Heather support the Trevor Project, of course, it's definitely a statement, but it's a very small segment. It's a very short segment. And
doesn't get as much airtime. Yeah, you're
right.
Absolutely right.
Right. There was, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, but still you'd expect, Bravo historically has tried to, walk both sides of the fence.
Yes.
More than Karen does. So, it just seems really strange that there would be this element that's you could easily... It's just so weird because, I don't want to in my heart support Gretchen in any of this because it does seem like she I do believe in my heart that she supports anti-LGBTQ sentiments. And if she as a human, I can, if I were to believe anything that we were shown on this episode, maybe she doesn't wholly believe these things, but she supports those that do. And she's not yet reconciled what that means.
Also,
that's not my problem, though,
right.
at this...
Yeah, also it's very easy for her to do this because she is a white cisgender woman
right.
in Orange County. She's not walking in the shoes of people who have to face hardships. And it's one thing to be I had a drag brunch, I had a drag Tupperware party at my house, and I went to the Abbey, and I've done events, with gays and my hairstylist and some of my best friends, whatever. But it's quite another to be Heather and have 3 children who are members of that community.
Right.
That it's more meaningful. You are walking the walk. This means something to you. You support your children. You support these issues. It's not just oh, my hairstylist is gay.
Well, to me, everything that Gretchen was saying to try to defend herself, which wasn't much initially, was very much that whole idea of, what is it called when you're the model minority? That oh, some of my best friends are gay. It's okay, that's fine. You're okay with the people that don't offend you.
Oh, you mean she's talking about people who are the model minority.
Right.
The harmless drag queen,
right.
The gay hairstylist.
Right.
But the activist who's acting Dylan Mulvaney, who's
right.
asking for,
actual equality.
Right. And my rights and not to be harmed because of being a trans person.
That's where...
Are you supporting that person?
Right. I think that's where she's saying, no, I don't support that thing. So it's when they're just they're not bothering my lifestyle. They're fine. They aren't impinging on me being, a white woman, whatever.
I can use the words they. I can use pronouns too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a girly girl. Yeah.
I can see that.
Uh-huh.
Where I'm really... I don't know, where I'm really starting to... I don't the way they edited this whole thing just feels really dirty. I don't I don't believe Tamra would be this calculating, but at the same time, I don't feel like they could pull it out of thin fucking air.
Yeah, there's got to be.
And I really hope that Tamra didn't do anything to like make this worse. So the whole idea, like,
should we start from the beginning?
We were no hope for doing that.
I'd like to go through the...
Let's get there in a moment. But before I forget where I'm going, I feel like the whole idea that they said that Tamra may have created accounts that made this happen. Like, that's kind of what I got out of it. They were saying, like, Tamra was behind some of these accounts that made it look like Gretchen was saying this, would suggest that Tamra was, like, creating fake Gretchen accounts to have this a year before, like, anti-LGBT. It just seems so over the top weird.
It's a lot of work, too.
Which I don't think that Tamra, one, is that hardy with her work.
She didn't even know
Gretchen was coming back
to the show. It didn't. That's the thing. Like, Tamra doesn't think about Gretchen like this.
I hope she doesn't.
Gretchen thinks about Tamra like this.
So there, again, I wouldn't have. Last week, I would not have thought this, but the fact that like Bravo's putting this forward, like, is a lot on their part. That's like Tamra is a commodity of theirs to an extent.
Yes.
And so the fact that they're like putting it out there that Tamra would like go to the lengths to create fake accounts to make it look like Gretchen was...
It wasn't even... I mean, that's part of it. That's when they get it in their reunion clip. The main thing at the end, well, we'll go end, then we'll start, and then come back to the end.
All right.
Be full circle. The main thing from that little add-on scene, which I don't like doing that. I don't... It was... You know, last year when they did it, it was, you know, more innocuous. They're like, we're sisters, we're together, whatever. Anyways, to drop some like bomb at the end about,
it's weak, I think, in storytelling terms.
Yeah, that you have to like, it's obviously produced. It's just like, let's get these three together. And someone reached out to Gina and said, Tamra's leaking stuff. I can prove it. They call the person and they go, give me some examples. And he goes, boom, 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 like 6 examples of stuff that wouldn't have been known because it hadn't aired yet. So this is more so about like they're saying Tamra's leaking information to bloggers, to fan pages, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall these things coming out. I also am not looking for them deeply. Like, I'm not looking for spoilers about Housewives, but it feels like this would be more all over the place.
Yeah.
It's just so that whole thing seemed, and they were just so quick to be like, of course. And then especially when he said, you know, that Tamra was hatching a plan with Gina. Gina's like, oh, no, not me. Like, don't bring me into this. And I don't know. It was just so weird to have all this evidence against Tamra from this mystery voice who could be anybody. He could be on Gretchen's payroll. He could be a part of I don't know. Like, why are we giving this airtime of hearing somebody saying things? I guess because it proves that they know things that only production and the people involved would know.
And the timing of it all. Like, I think that was my one takeaway from that whole like epilogue, was that before anything aired, there were stories out there that were like detailing things that had happened before anyone should have known about them. So the idea of Gretchen coming after her where she walks off and Eddie gives the finger, you know, that whole thing, like that whole moment that's what that was suggesting, is that before anyone knew that happened, that was already being put out there into the universe in a time where like it would be irrelevant. But I don't know really what that means.
Were there posts about all this? That's what I want to see. You can say, like, what was this information? This person is presenting this information that they knew.
This person, Kiki Monique.
Will be with BravoCon doing a panel with Tamra on it. This person knows all this information, but what were they doing with it aside from proving that they knew all the information? And why was production, again, giving airtime to this person unless it's just to try to prove a point that Tamra was leaking this information.
I
Because then
just,
you had all three women, Jen,
Mhm.
Gina, and
Shannon.
Shannon, basically saying, like, well, how could she do this? This is our show. And
that's where I just don't understand like what that behooves production to do.
to prove, yeah.
Unless they're just really, unless they have something really amazing planned for season 20, which probably they do. But like, I don't, it's really confusing overall.
I'm very confused about what's the point of it.
Yeah.
And the timing of it, like the fact that this thing was done to Gretchen, and then all of a sudden this person is like, I know all these things. I mean, is someone, I don't know. You can have like so many conspiracy theories and go down a rabbit hole.
But
who knew what and who told who when, and how is Gretchen involved and how is Tamra involved? But I think the overall point is, it's so messed up and confusing, and it's bringing things off camera, on camera. And that's what it is. When you bring things that happen off camera, on camera, it doesn't translate well. Right. And it gets very confusing for the audience. Well, and it's not good TV.
And right. I think on top of that, like, what does the show gain from this? They get at most a week's worth of us and people like us and controversy talking about it. And at the end of the day, it's not going to go anywhere. We're going to get next week's reunion. Mm-hmm. They probably won't talk about that then. They'll probably save that for the third episode. So they probably get 4 weeks of conjecture.
Like in the trailer, it was brought up, like, I think it gets brought up pretty soon because we see them watching the scene of the three talking to this.
I don't know. We could be getting fed a line. That could be the third week of the reunion.
That's true.
We'll never know.
We hear like Gretchen saying like, it's so fucked up for you to do this, Tamra. I don't know. And it's a blob. And it makes me, when people say this isn't a good season, I think it was a good season. This was not a good finale for me because it's just such a mess.
Yeah.
And it's not just because, there's the person I like the most is being thrown on the bus. It's because it makes my brain hurt trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
You've lost me as a viewer because you brought in all this outside stuff. It's become too much about what's happening off the show than what's happening on the show.
Right.
Which means there's not enough happening on the show that's interesting to make a show. So you need to go to bloggers and mystery people to try to make something happen.
Yeah.
And that is when you have fucked yourself.
I didn't. Yeah. No.
And they need to and what's happening is that this is happening because you have two people who are trying to destroy one another, and it's hurting the show. And I think you just can't go on that way.
So, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Where I'm confused, and I'm not trying to be devil's advocate here, like, Gretchen has historically displayed very conservative values. Mm-hmm. So unless they're all just lying out their asses, the fact that Heather herself was like, this doesn't sound like Gretchen, like, there's an element to me that's like, okay, maybe she's not like that, but is the real truth that she just doesn't express herself to Heather like that.
Exactly.
And so I'd be more interested in hearing about that and like really, like, that's what I'm more interested in getting to the bottom of. Not because I want to label someone or feel better putting someone in a box saying that, Gretchen is this or is not this. But like, to me, if that's what we've watched the last 16 or 15 weeks, however many, to like, not even that, to come up with is like, what are we supposed to feel about this relationship that has been forged? I
don't understand that relationship, but I also think it's a classic case of, well, she's not like that with me.
Yeah.
But you don't know then all parts of her and all facets of her personality or what she does when she's not with you saying, I love you, you're my friend, I support your family, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Like, have you stopped her and said, well, do you support my family when and if this happens?
Right.
And find out like, well, no, because, the Bible says.
Was Gretchen at that Trevor Project function. She wasn't.
I don't
Doesn't mean
recall.
I mean anything, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I think now we start from the beginning because now we're beating.
well,
this.
where the hell was the beginning? You tell me.
The beginning was the day after with Gretchen talking to Slade and, saying like, everyone's saying I should get over it. And it's hard because I'm traumatized. And, because we were saying like, well, what happens? It's like they go swinging, would never do that.
Oh, I would do that. That'd be fine.
No.
I think I
would die.
I think I was going to tell you, I think I was there before that attraction opened.
Yeah.
Esther and Ben and I went. It was good.
The only time I felt for Gretchen, I was like, I would be shaking as well. It would give me a physical reaction to be, I know I'm a hard stand, I know it's safe, but no. So after that, Tamra gives her an apology, about the cancer stuff and whatnot. And I'm sorry that I did that. And, it was an actual, it seemed very real. And they had a moment and like, we're going to be okay.
But you're like, womp, womp, just wait.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, they're in the maze. Are you picking up Gabs?
Yeah.
Talking about trauma.
But she was bumping, she was headbutting me. See, she's such a pretty kitty. Meow. No.
Like, I'm not going to meow when you tell me to meow.
But I'm going to hold her. You keep talking.
Put Gabs down.
No, she's fine. She's like enjoying the lights. She's like, look at me. I'm a star. I'm a big, bright, shining star.
Oh, my goodness.
What's that?
Anyways, this is dead air. Cut it out. I lost track of what Dan did.
Sorry, I didn't realize a cat could do that to you.
Well,
she was headbutting me real good. She needed some snuggles.
Yeah.
Clearly. Okay, I'll put her down.
Yes.
You can start talking about Housewives again.
Okay. Well,
I didn't realize that Gabs was your kryptonite.
No, it's just like it threw me off. And then, we'll cut this out. Yeah.
Sure, we will.
Okay.
Yeah, we will. We'll totally cut this out.
So,
Gretchen.
Yes.
We will cut this out. I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was going to throw you.
Yeah. Crap, I don't know. They had the one on the swings. Oh, they're doing the maze thing with Shannon.
Oh, that was funny.
Shrooms.
That was funny. Like, again, the fact that Shannon did shrooms, that was amazing.
A lot of people who should not do shrooms, maybe.
Yeah,
she already feels like she's on shrooms.
But that whole experience in the maze had to have been freaking weird. The fact that they used your own image and like if you're already, well, maybe they weren't expecting people to be on shrooms, but
I'm sure they expect people to be on drugs because that's what her daughter said. You should, take mushrooms and then go through it. Then it's the same thing with the tulips.
Right. Extra surreal and extra weird.
All the elements. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were little moments of levity, them on the bikes and whatever, and then like having actual conversations, when they had the picnic and, talking about Jen and, you should be more financially secure, so you don't have to depend on Ryan.
And I did enjoy that, like, they got to express things that in other episodes, like, like there's this whole thing about your Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Like, they got to express that, like, that should be more about you. Like when I open when I open it, I feel it's about Ryan. It should be more about you.
Right.
And like, okay, that makes sense. Which I think that in other episodes they could misconstrue, like, well,
yeah, it's not disparaging Ryan. It's basically just saying like you should have your own identity, and also if you can monetize that, that'd be great as well.
Yeah.
Because you're doing these workouts anyways. Why not be like, I used these dumbbells from so and so, and whatever. Yeah. So no, those were good conversations. Or like, when Shannon was like, you hurt my feelings when Gretchen tried to make something happen and failed about, them making fun of her. The
Spanx and everything.
The fact that she said, like, could it be that they were fat shaming you? Like,
if you have to
why would you say that?
If you have to say the phrase, could it be that they were trying to fat shame? Like, then that's you putting it out there.
Let me lead you to this water.
Right. If it's not obvious already, then yeah.
Yes. So I'm glad that, like, Emily quickly was like, I'm sorry, shut up, Gretchen. And also, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, Shannon.
But, I mean, they were making fun of
They were totally making fun of her.
But
but not in like a, like, you're, you're a horrible fat person.
Right. I really feel it was more about her like reliance upon the Spanx.
Right.
Like Shannon's just like held together by all that stuff, when it's like, why does she need to be like, why does she feel that way? Like, that's what I was getting at.
Also, it's a part of her shtick that like, I'm hoisting myself up in these Spanx, almost like, like a Victorian lady putting herself in a girdle.
Right.
So
I get it that they were definitely poking fun at her, but in a way that I feel that like she's poking fun at herself.
Right. But I think if she'd been there, it'd be a different story.
Absolutely.
She could laugh along and be like, oh, biscuits. And then,
Yeah, but Gretchen was definitely trying to make drama where...
As soon as she walked away with her, I was like, what is she doing? Why is she like, I need a moment alone for you, Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the whole Heather, much better than Sutton with Merce in the purse.
So much better.
Like just having that moment, like just going and seeing the old house they used to live in,
and bringing just Emily, which is a choice, I would say. Like I never would have thought in a million years like, let's bring Emily. Like I figured she'd bring Shannon or maybe Tamra,
right?
But good for
they're both going through kind of as she was saying similar things and whatnot. But yeah, I think having just the coincidence of that man walking out and saying, come into the house, and beautiful house, being able to have those memories, talk about her father, and then have an actual real moment when she spread his ashes, not into the wind. It's not was really nice too. So that was, I think, before the storm, to have like these little bits of moments were great.
Yeah.
Was there anything other moments before we got to the dinner?
I don't think so. I mean, Gina looking fantastic this whole episode, but I think I'm only bringing that up because of what the reunion dresses look like.
Which we'll talk about that next year. Next year reunion.
We will, but no, like still, like I think, I don't know, like Emily or Gina's looking really good and like in a way that I was not expecting.
Her outfits are really great. Like when she was wearing when they're riding the bikes and a little schoolgirl outfit and,
that green jacket she was wearing. Like I want something like that for myself. Like I want to dress like a college professor.
Right. With the elbow pads.
Yeah. Elbow pads, not knee pads. Definitely elbow pads. So,
but yeah, and then we got to see Amsterdam and not in a hot tub time machine rolling down the canal. So that was good.
Yeah.
So then, yes.
You were really trying to make sense of this episode. Like you were really trying to bring it back to an actual like show before.
Well, I don't want to like just talk about like the ending. There's other things we need to cover.
Yeah.
Not that we're, again, we're not a recap show, but we need to talk about, there were nice moments before the shit hit the fan. And so I think like talking about that is good because we can't, we want to focus on everything that happened in the episode.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
They tried to make it a well-rounded finale before they got into a really dark rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So yeah, the dinner didn't go. I like that Tamra said, let's wait till the last dinner because then we hop on a plane and, we're done.
Right.
So the things get exposed and everyone is just so quick to say, oh, well, that's bad, and I do go back to what we were saying before, it was weird how calm Gretchen was about it. Of, what do you mean? I don't know. I don't think I'd like that.
That when's the last time? Like, if I were to be like, "Hey, I saw you liked this thing you would know what you liked and didn't like, or at least be like, that sounds like something I'd like."
Well, you can also say, was it Slade who runs her account when she's not? If she's an influencer, she can't be running her account 24/7 because she's working on the show. So is someone just scrolling through and finding anti-trans, anti-whatever posts and liking them?
Right.
I don't understand.
Again, if it comes...
That's the question I hope it gets asked at the reunion. Who has access to your Instagram? Is it just you? Or could somebody else possibly like these things?
Right. It comes down to it, though, that like... If you were to say to me, oh, you liked this thing, I'd be like, I would not know. Like, she was very much like, well, that doesn't sound like something. It's like,
I don't know, show me the things.
Yeah.
Very, very eerily calm about it.
Because she, again, like,
And then calling Slade as if, what was that going to do? Call him after you're finished the scene.
I don't know how you come back on Housewives having liked things like that without being ready to address them. And so I feel like the way she was calm about it was like, I've been expecting this. Like, of course this would happen. And I don't know if she thought that maybe she would have, when the moment happened, like the most perfect thing to say, and she didn't. But like, it seems to me that that's, you either, when you do something that's against your character, you speak up very loud, very quickly, very adamantly about it, and you're just like, that is not true. And you can do it wholeheartedly without hesitation. And the fact that she's like, well, what are you talking about? It's just like,
I mean, maybe it's weird for me to try to, again, I'm not playing devil's advocate either, but as Heather said, she could have been in shock. She could have been thinking, what do I say? What do I say that's going to make this better? So you're rolling around in your mind thinking, how do I correct this? And you have, but it is odd that Heather has such a big reaction and a lot of energy coming at her, and Gretchen isn't matching that. Instead, she is very calm, and she walked up to her afterwards. You know, I wouldn't say that. I love your family. It was just too calm. I don't need her to be hysterical, because she got a little bit when she was outside of the car.
Right.
But
well, that's because that's the way the women were treating her. It was like, oh,
they were shutting her down.
You are ostracizing me over my beliefs now. Like, oh, this is becoming real.
Well, no, it was more so, aside from Tamra, who had to be held back, everyone was very quiet. So maybe that made her reaction be big. Whereas at the table, everyone had a big reaction. Well, mainly Tamra and Heather, and she was very calm. So it's weird that she was flipping the energy.
Yeah.
She was receiving.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I don't know what makes her tick. I don't understand. I think she's a calculating person. I think she showed that with the Shannon incident. But I don't know what to believe. But I don't know if this, now it makes me question if she, again, I don't question the fact that she could like these things or could have these beliefs, but I wonder about the validity of these screenshots.
Oh, really?
Well, when you say when the next day, Gina says, I can't find these, aside from the screenshots, I can't find her liking these actual posts.
Right.
Unless Slade cleaned them up right away.
Right.
Or wiped the internet. I don't know if he has the ability to do that. How did that happen? You know?
Yeah. I mean,
that's why none of this makes sense.
Yeah. It's too convenient in so many ways. I don't know. If I were to turn to you and say, like, you liked this thing that you had never seen in your life, you wouldn't be like, what are you talking about? You'd be like, no. Like, you would be more instantly, more adamantly like, no, I don't feel that way. I never have felt that way. Like, the fact of the matter is that it comes down to that Gretchen has a belief near to those things, and she's trying to mitigate the damage. Like, I feel like a fucking idiot for not just, like, someone who believes those things, or like could believe those things. I don't want to have much sympathy for. I don't want to, like, persecute someone wrongly, but at the same time, like, I don't
persecute them wrongly in this one instance.
Right.
And it's very
I'm just saying, like, she doesn't deserve a lot of my sympathy, because I'm pretty sure she does not, like, yay, gays, like, gays and trans in every way. Like, let's go ahead and, like, let it all happen. I'm pretty sure she's supported, like, limiting gay rights and, like, making, and the only reason I'm being at all waffly about it is that I don't know this person in real life. I don't know. I've never had a conversation with her. Like, I would feel better to say these things adamantly, having had a conversation with them personally.
Right.
But at the same time, the things that we've seen historically about her doesn't lead me to believe that we should be like giving her the benefit of the doubt. But as a man on a podcast in this situation, I don't want to just condemn her immediately. I want her to have her moment to like defend herself, and it just doesn't seem like something that...
Well, and then it goes back to just believing, I've said many times, it's hard to believe anything Gretchen says because she lies, as she showed early on in the season with the hospital thing.
Right.
You know, just starting at the beginning of the season, or even before they started filming, when it was announced that she was coming back, it really irked me because not just as a character, but also what she stands for and what she believes in, it bugged me that they would bring someone like that onto the show. You know,
right.
They've had people similar to that, and they're no longer on the show, thankfully. So just to bring that energy on, just to do a tit for tat, well, they did it with Alexis and Shanna. Now they need to stick somebody on Tamra and see what happens. And this is what happens. This utter ball of confusion, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think ultimately she was great for the show and the energy she brought, not just this instance, but also the Katie of it all, the being stuck in the past. And then when you finally get to this, and then bringing Slade on, and that they're a twofer, it's hard to watch.
It's hard to watch.
I don't advocate for anyone being fired. I'm not saying fire. I'm just saying she is hard to watch.
Well, I mean, she's just a temp anyway. So, I mean, come on.
I mean, I would think she wouldn't come back. If they couldn't bring back Alexis, they should not bring back Gretchen.
I think when they're bringing on like these old beefs, I don't think they're bringing them on with like any realistic. They're trying to bring them on to like resolve a situation. If they hit fire in a bottle or lightning in a bottle, then good for them, is what they're hoping. But yeah, I don't think they're bringing on these old beefs to like really get anywhere with it.
I feel I was trying to think just now of people, of housewives were housewives and then were brought back as a friend and then evolved into being a full-time cast member. And Sheree comes to mind because I can't remember all the details, but it didn't seem that she was coming back with a vendetta,
right,
or wanting to talk about things that happened in 2012.
It was more about where she was today, you know, and if Gretchen,
the group,
right,
and new beef, you know, not focusing on, I don't like Nene for this reason from 2012, and instead I don't like Nene because of 2020, whenever she came back.
Yeah, 2022. No, you're right. Absolutely. And that's why you're right, so confusing as to why it would go this way, why they would like pivot to make it seem like Tamra's making this all up, which I really
do. They want to have a balanced, as if they're saying, well, we're going to throw this out there that maybe Gretchen, but the thing is, they threw it out there.
They're like, we have the McBee dynasty. We might want to capitulate towards a lot of conservative people now on Bravo.
Well, but you don't do that by making them seem as if they're homophobic assholes.
Well, but if it makes it out that like the liberals are trying to make them seem that way, maybe. I'm just saying.
I don't think it's that.
I
think it was just interesting how you throw it out there that potentially Gretchen could have liked these horrible posts that are very anti-LGBTQ. And then you quickly retract it after the commercial break.
Yeah.
And then you pivot to Tamra's leaking things, which doesn't really vibe with everything else. It would be one thing if they are trying to prove, if this person who called Gina said, I can prove to you that Gretchen didn't like these things. As Slade said, I'm going to go with the mat. He didn't say this, but he basically, I'm going to prove it's Tamra. I'm going to prove that you aren't this horrible homophobic person. And then, but how do you do that if you can't prove it? You pivot to something else,
right?
I.e., Tamra is leaking information. And then I'm just a conspiracy theorist. This is what you're doing, show. Now I'm thinking all these conspiracies. Why would this come out? Did Tamra actually leak information? Is it Slade? Did he pay this voice person?
And
What
this
little money
voice
he has?
person.
Who is this person? Who is this mystery person?
Well, I mean, you're supposed to assume this mystery person is someone legitimate who they're hiding his identity.
They're a blogger. They're a content creator.
There's something. There's someone who needs their identity.
Gotta stop saying blogger. This is not.
Yeah, it's not 1996.
Yeah. 96.
2006.
Yeah.
Whichever. So, yeah, my main problem that just doesn't sit right with me right now is like why I should give a shit. Like, I mean, honestly, before any of tonight happened, we all assumed Gretchen and others on the show had a very conservative leaning, that they did not necessarily support the LGBT community. They don't support trans rights. They don't support any number of things that you and I would. So, like, in any sort of regular conversation, I don't know why I should be giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like, I guess for the storytelling and then for the, like, this is reality. And like, we don't, I want to know, like, at the end of the day that this person is or was not thinking a certain way. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't want to give Gretchen the benefit of the doubt. Like, I believe that she liked those things. I believe that whether she truly believes them, I believe she did it. And that the conversation that needs to be had is why she feels that's okay. Why, if she can't stand up and say, I didn't do that, and here's why. If she can't look Heather in the face and say, I love your kids, and I think that they're great, and I liked these things, but I don't agree with this, this, and this. If she can't do that on a camera, then I don't want to hear it. And that comes down, like, I'm curious. Just for the sake of fairness, I do want to hear her side, but I don't care at the end of the day. Like, I think that she's trying to capitulate and make things okay so she can be on TV. Does it suck if Tamra's putting it out there and like trying to like make, a little bit, but
do you think it's both things though? Just focusing on the end. Do you think she created these AI generated whatever?
No.
And also, do you think she's leaking information? Do you think both things are just one or the other?
I don't think any housewife would go through the trouble of creating AI garbage. Maybe.
The thing is, like, we come from going back to Diana on Beverly Hills being accused of sticking bots on Garcelle's
bots are one thing,
but still, it's making something out of nothing,
right.
To attack a castmate. So this is where we are in Housewives.
I can see Tamra doing it just because Tamra wants to be proven right. I really hope that's not the case, because I think Tamra could have been proven right without it. And that's where it just doesn't make sense for the show to do this, because if they have put this idea out there that Tamra has manufactured all of this just for the sake of being right, then they have essentially fired Tamra again. Like, I don't think there's any way Tamra gets back from it.
Right. I think it's more so about leaking information is worse to them. So to make this case
so
strongly from this person and to put timestamps, date stamps on all of this to try to prove a point that Tamra leaked this information, I don't understand why they would do that either. If I was her, I would be very upset seeing that.
Yeah. Especially when they know, and they've probably had major negotiations over the fact that Tamra came back to the show having had a successful podcasting, stint, and knowing that she was going to have these things where she couldn't talk about the show, and like she had involvement in the press side of things. Like it's like playing with fire almost.
I don't think that she would leak information I think maybe she might dig up stuff. Not maybe. I think she would dig up stuff. But I don't think that she would leak information to bloggers because she knows how that could come back and be proven and hurt her and get her kicked off.
I would agree with that.
She's not stupid.
I mean, unless this whole idea of wanting to quit, especially last year when what she's going through, she's just like, oh, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go down with a blaze of glory. And, you know, she was...
I would say blaze of glory. I would say, I don't care about this show. I'll leak things. But again,
no, but like, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to be in a ball of fire. Like, I'm not going to like leave. Like this time, if I'm going to leave, I'm not going to, if I'm going to, it's to be the way I want to go out.
What is the ball of fire? What do you get from saying leaking this information?
Just that she did it her way. That like, instead of being fired this time, it would be like, I told the story that I wanted to tell. Like, I mean, we start out, if you remember on 2Ts, she was saying, you're not going to like me this season.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, I think that's more so like the quitting part and just flying off the handle and not being able to control her emotions.
I mean, if you were doing something you didn't like to do, but you were like, and you didn't want to walk away from it, like, if you're trying to get yourself fired, this is a good way to get yourself fired.
Are you saying it's self-sabotage?
Yes. It could be.
If she did this.
Yes.
Again, I don't think she would do that either. I think she would just walk away.
I would hope so.
She was going to quit. If Teddy hadn't talked her into going back, I don't think we would have seen her the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And so I think Katie would have flipped through the entire season. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, though, but with that being said, she went back and she's like, okay, well, if I was ready to walk away, like, and I'm just doing this for, you know, the sake of getting paid more, like.
But you're not getting anything. What I'm getting at is you're not getting anything from leaking information. That's why it makes me, one, she's not stupid. Two, you're not gaining anything by leaking this information. So this person may have had all the information, but what did they do with it? It wasn't like with Teresa and
right.
And Jen Aiden leaking information.
Sorry, I just started laughing. This voice is probably Katie.
She's
like, Tamra told me what was going on.
but she and Katie were good. They were like teaming up against Gretchen.
Right.
So it couldn't be Katie either. You don't gain anything. That's why it's hard. I can't believe it's Tamra, because Tamra would do things to benefit Tamra, and this does not benefit Tamra.
True.
Unless you're just trying to spin a narrative of this is how you could have the leaks be from Tamra. If you're leaking information that is detrimental to Gretchen, if you're saying in this scene that was shot, all the women turned on Gretchen, they kicked her out of her car.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that a blogger would be like, a content creator would run with, and the press would run with while they're shooting, Gretchen gets ostracized by the whole group. It's antsy bullshit of she met with Katie, she ran out of New Orleans, she fake quit. Very keyword, she fake quit. It doesn't serve her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so dumb, not dumb. I don't understand why.
It's silly. There's a lot of...
No. I don't understand why Shannon and Gina and Jim are so quick to say, oh, well, of course, Tamara's leaking information. Look at the bigger picture about what this does. And what puzzle piece, what chess piece does this move? It doesn't.
Again, sometimes they're just playing checkers, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. It just...
Yeah. That's why I don't believe the leaks that came from Tamra. That I don't believe. Could someone have sent her some fake information, the whole Gretchen liking homophobic stuff? Yes, and she ran with that? Yeah.
But it supposedly came from iHeart, is what she says.
I'm going to need more background about that at the reunion, too. I want him to say, how long have you known about this? How did you hear about it? Because I feel like this has been going on for a while.
So that's the part that still drives me up the wall. Like, Gretchen is not secretively like, let's go down to WeHo and hang out with the gays.
Right.
She's been very vocal and very obvious about her conservatism.
And this has been brought up on Reddit for months and months and months.
Yeah.
I don't know about going back a year. I don't know the timeline, but it's not a surprise about Gretchen's beliefs.
Yeah.
So
I'm just trying to think, like, if we had a friend that, like, we do have friends that we question their, like, you know, are they conservative, they liberal, like, you know, where do they fall on this
do they support
spectrum?
us?
So, like, if we were to find all of a sudden one of those friends was just, like, vocally, like, no, gays are bad, like, we knew about it, and we were trying to hope for the best. Like, could that be happening with Heather and Emily? You know, all of that. Like, it's got to be a tough road to walk where you're like, I'm hoping this isn't the case. But you find yourself there still hoping that this person doesn't think these horrible things about us.
Right.
But then they probably do. Or they're at least friends with horrible people that just, you know, aren't fun to be around.
Yeah, it's just the whole, like, some of my best friends are...
Right.
But it doesn't even matter. If are we truly friends if you're supporting things that don't support me?
And I think that's where Heather definitely comes down to with this episode. And
she got over it so quickly. She felt so bad. So that car ride back to the airport where they all felt so bad. And Tamra, I know part of Tamra was saying, this sucks for Heather. It's really sad, but I thought this would be the nail in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she went back to, this girl's been doing this to me for 12 years. I've been saying for so long that she's horrible. She's not a good person. She thought this would be the nail in the coffin, and it's not. And when I say she thought it'd be the nail in the coffin, not that she was trying to make the nail happen. Well, she did, but she wasn't creating.
I don't feel like she was, like, trying to hammer the nail in. She was just trying to be like, look, what more do we need to
show that she's a bad person and everyone,
or that it's possible that everything she's been saying about me is just part of her overall badness.
Yeah,
it just sucks. And I think, and part of it is what, you know, we're talking about, like, you, like, don't want to feel like these people truly do despise you or really have something against you. But then when you think about it or start to analyze it, it's just like, well, why? What have they done to show me otherwise? You know,
mm-hmm.
They're not, like, jumping out and being like, you know, being supportive of certain things. They always have that weird little tickle of, like, this is just not right. So that's where, like, I just don't feel, I feel about other podcasts we've talked to and we've been on, like, they would just be very much like, screw Gretchen, you know, like, this is awful. Why are we even entertaining the idea that she's a good person?
Right.
But I think that's also what is worth talking about with these shows.
Right. I thought walking into this, I would just say she's guilty, because I thought I didn't expect what happened at the end.
Right.
I thought it'd be just clearly Gretchen's horrible. She liked horrible things on Instagram. And instead I'm questioning the validity of these horrible things and these screenshots. And now I'm also, my mind is being distracted by the leaks of it all. So this was not a well-produced episode because...
Or was it? We're talking about it, though.
They're talking about it, but we're also... There's not a clear narrative. It's very messy. The show is messy. The producers are messy. It's very muddy and murky.
What I hear you telling me, this is like an Oscar film. It's not a very clear narrative. It's an open ending. What do you feel happened?
It's really murky.
Yeah. No, I don't like it. But at the same time, it's thought provoking in a way that I don't expect from my housewives.
Maybe we're just thinking too hard about it.
We've been accused of that as well. So, but it's what I like about these shows. It's what I think makes them interesting in a point, is like, it's not just black and white. It's not cut and dry. It's complicated. But at the same time, I think in my gut, in this specific case, I think that Gretchen liked those things, and I think that she has a difficult relationship with the gay community.
I thought you were about to say the truth.
Well, and that. I just think that, like, you know, she wants to condemn it because it just doesn't strike her at the surface of being something she wants to support. But I think she also understands that it's not, you know, binary, literally, in the sense that, like, you know, gay people don't equal bad. But at the same time, it's probably something she's been fed her entire life.
Or more recent, you know.
Yeah. So I just don't want to defend people who have to question that.
We're just we're questioning things.
I wanna help people understand that, like, you know, it's not an easy situation. It's not a clear-cut thing. I also want to help people understand that, like, you know, as stupid as it sounds, it's as easy as, do you hate people? Oh, you don't? Well, then why do you, you know, it's like, it's not hard to love somebody. Just, you know, support people. Try not to cut people down, build them up, you know, that's all it takes, no matter who they are. Except when they're Gretchen.
I think to sum up, what did, because again, we keep going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's what we're thinking. Now that we're at the end of the season, what did you think of the season, and what are you looking forward to with this 3-part reunion?
I like how you've gotten to become a better interview question asker. Like, these are all things that, like, a year ago, you and I would not have been asking. What do I want out of the next 3 episodes? I want this addressed. They won't do it. I'm not going to convince myself otherwise.
Not to our satisfaction.
Yeah, no, it's going to be very lightly glossed over. That's a tough question. They're going to spend a lot of time on Ryan and Jen's whole thing. There's
the Tamra Jen thing.
You're right. I think they're going to spend some time on Shannon and, you know, where she is independently and, like, you know, why she wants to support Jen's marriage so much, and that's going to become a thing. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I really don't. Like, I think this is a very weird season, but I think I'm too wrapped up in what happened tonight to really answer that. I'll be able to ask me that same question start of next week before we get into the
or maybe just at the end of the 3 parts, you know, what we thought about the season. Yeah, I think it was a very up and down season, some filler episodes, you know, some interesting points, some good points or moments, I would say, some stronger, I'm not just saying words, some strong things, some nice things, some good things, some bad things. True, I guess maybe I can't necessarily answer that question either. I would say I'm hoping for more clarity in the reunion. That's I'm setting the intention for clarity. I know it's already been shot, but I hope that's what I'm hoping for.
While you were talking, I really feel, I don't know, I feel like they were really trying to make Tamra look vulnerable and be vulnerable, but not in a redeeming way.
This season, or just
this entire season? I feel like a lot of the thread through the season has been Tamra's a horrible person and doesn't know what to do about it. And I don't know if they're trying to do that, like, it doesn't feel like they were doing that in a positive light. Like, it seems like the entire thread was Tamra's horrible and we shouldn't like her. Like,
yeah, I mean,
which is a weird thing to do for someone that they really hang the entire series upon.
Right, but she's been cast in the role of the villain, and so you're not. It's interesting, somewhat related, kind of, listening to 2Ts and talking about the Salt Lake episodes. Tamra talks about how she relates to Lisa so much and how she hates it. This is a takedown season, and et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So I think relating it to herself, But the only person who took down Tamra was Tamra.
Mm-hmm.
And her actions and her quitting and the high emotions. And it came from a place, of course, as I said before, dealing with both the therapy and past traumas and the Teddy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't, so I understand where it's coming from, but she didn't express that in the best way. And her actions weren't great.
Right.
And so no one, and the cast was just reacting to what she was giving them. And they could have given her more grace, for sure. But they weren't trying to take her down unless your name is Gretchen and your name is Jen.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Shannon may not like Tamra, but she's not trying to take her down. She might be petty with her for sure, but she's not trying to take her down.
Emily wasn't like trying to lift her up either.
No, but she wasn't trying to, nor Heather were trying to take her down. Tamra was bringing herself down by her just crazy, chaotic energy.
Right.
So it's not a fair comparison. But I think, going into what you're saying, yes, they've shown her like I'm very vulnerable, but I'm not expressing it well, and I'm being an asshole, and I'm raging, and I'm spinning, and I'm walking out, and I'm quitting every 5 minutes. And so, you know, on one hand, it's what she's giving them, what they have to work with, and on the other hand, it does seem as if you're hanging her out to dry. And then this last episode, especially running the bus over her back and forth. You know, didn't help things. So if I'm her, I would say, watching all this, why do I keep doing this?
Yeah, why am I coming back? But it's just really, next year's season 20, like, is next year to be a Tamra redemption season? Like, is this all to be like, last season was bad for me, you know?
I think if it's going to be that, then she needs to grow. And I love Tamra, but she needs to grow.
Grow a lot. Needs a lot of water.
A lot of growth. A lot of water. A lot of
sunshine.
Enrich that soil.
Yeah.
You know, take this metaphor wherever you want to go with it. You gotta do that because, you know, this season only built off of last season and then throwing whatever she could at Shannon and then spinning and throwing shit at Jen and Gretchen. So I think for sure she needs you back in season 20. It's just a definite. You can't lose that. But you need to show something more because otherwise, yes, you can carry the show, but if you're carrying it in the same old way you've been carrying it, you got to keep moving.
And people
it's not just about them moving forward. It's about with other people. It's about moving forward with yourself.
Right. And I don't think Tamra brings great chaos.
Yeah.
But there's only so much chaos you can watch before you're just like, okay, what does this mean? Why am I?
And the audience turns on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she needs to like bring it back to something meaningful, if ever was anything meaningful. I don't know what she did before she came back, but yeah, it's.
So yeah, clarity and the reunion, and just hope that Andy can make sense of this.
I love that you keep trying to make sense of this episode that we're doing. Like, we're all over the place here.
Oh, it's very all over the place.
And hats off to you for like, I'm embracing the chaos of this because what we just watched was pretty unhinged. I feel.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you're like, there's a half hour before it got unhinged. I'm like,
yeah. Again, you can't just focus on the last few minutes. You know, there were actually some good moments that are like fun.
No,
that's what I'm also saying.
You're not wrong.
You gotta have fun and the drama. You have to have we're riding around on bicycles and talking about real shit, and then we're ripping each other's faces off. But this is like compared to like other shows, Salt Lake, Potomac, whatever. This was mild ripping the face off, you know. And then they felt bad for ripping the face off like with less than 24 hours later.
Yeah.
So
I think I just feel a little, I mean, obviously because the whole thing hits close to home and like the whole idea of, you know, someone approving or disapproving of, you know, who we are as people. Like, I don't know, like it just,
yeah,
it just brings up that whole idea of like, how do we have a podcast about a show where like, admittedly, most people are, you know, maybe not supportive of us, you know, but I don't want to get into that right now. Yeah. But it's a thing to consider.
It's another thing about Bravo in general. It's ignoring certain things, and sometimes we're willing to ignore it more so than others.
Right.
I definitely pick and choose who to ignore in terms of their beliefs outside of the show. So I don't know. It's a very complicated relationship we have with this network and with these housewives.
Right.
So, and this definitely brought that to the surface because we don't talk about things like this normally. So
meanwhile, Leah McSweeney is feeling like, all right, yeah, that's, complication.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing, though.
It is. No, but I mean, it comes down to the whole idea of like...
That was, they fed me alcohol to try to make me perform like a monkey.
But that's the same situation, though, where it's not the same, but similar in that, like, we support the ridiculous drunkenness of it all, but not this side, So there's definitely... I'm not saying I support the takedown of Bravo, but there's definitely they play both sides of things, and it makes it difficult sometimes to enjoy. You don't?
No, I wouldn't bring Leah into it.
Okay. All right.
That's a whole other level of messiness that, yeah.
No, I agree. It's not like
I see what you're trying to do with the analogy, but
all right.
Housewives analogies.
Should not make analogies. Yeah. All right. Should we move on?
Yes.
Have we beat this to death yet?
For sure we have.
All right. So we'll talk about it next time.
Till next time.
Okay.